Hey YouTubers, this is Tim at JL Miniatures. I just wanted to take and get back painting this Warcry mini. This right here, you can see this is how he turned out after the basic base coats that I was doing the first video. And I just wanted to get back into them again and show you how I'm going to continue. This right here is basically my paint palette that I'm using. These are the basic colors. Not really too much to say about them, so we're just gonna get right started with it. The black is actually a craft black. It's just an apple barrel. I use a lot of the black, so it makes a little bit more sense for me to go ahead and use the cheap stuff. It seems to work just as good as the other if you're doing it right and you're taking your time. Right now I'm just getting some of the fur and some of that other color in. Now it looks really intense and bright on the screen, and you got to remember when you're working with it, it's going to actually dry darker. It's not going to be as bright. So when you're doing it, you just kind of keep that in mind. So with painting this kind of stuff, you almost want to go like a super realism and make it really bright, and then it will look right. So as I'm doing it, this stuff down in here, this stuff right here, it looks really dark, and as I'm adding the colors to it here, it will brighten it up. And you can just see that I'm basically just tapping. Let me get this in focus here. I'm just barely tapping the brush to it. Now I'm gonna do the same thing over on this other side, on this chest. Now you can see I'm using the smaller brush on this one just to get in there. I'm basically just outlining the muscles itself, just to give it the highlights. I'm not going in there to make things go super crazy and all that. But you can see how wet that is. I'll do the same thing back in here. It's a little bit darker. I'm not going to add quite as much of that bright muscle tone to it. Then when it comes up to the shoulders and stuff like that, I'll add quite a bit more, since that's more directly related to where the highlights would be as far as like the sun hitting it. So I'll take and trying to keep this more in focus for you. Sorry about that. But you can see how that muscle tone and everything else is starting to really come out. You sit there and put another coat on there. Smooth it out a little bit. Now some of that I'll take and you can use this right here is a leather color brown, and you can mix it in. That'll give it a different skin tone. A little bit lighter looking, if that's what you're going for. That was the same what I've been using for the bone. Now when you're doing the lighter colors, you're basically going to go, you'll paint your main color, then you'll do half of the next brighter color, and then a quarter coverage of the next color. So you're not going to cover the darker colors every single step. You're actually going to be getting away from it, like farther and farther and farther and farther away. That way you still have those dark tones underneath, and then as it turns, it starts getting lighter and brighter. It starts looking like that. Same thing over here. I'm just doing the top part of his muscle. I'm not going back into where it goes underneath that cloak, because where it goes back underneath that cloak, it would be darker. So there's that. Now with the hand's the same way. I'm going to take and go through. There's a couple spots that I didn't hit with the first coat of paint. So I'm going to go back through and just kind of hit that. That was just basically the top of his thumb. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit the top part of the hand. The hand is basically directly on top as far as where the direct light would hit it. So you want to have that with a real nice highlight. But you still don't want to paint in the cracks and everything else. You want to keep those cracks nice and dark. Same thing with his hand right here. He's going to hit right along the edge of the finger. Now you can see I'm using my paintbrush kind of on an angle, so I'm just kind of running my paintbrush along the fingers. You can see that I've just picked up the knuckles and just along that edge. If you want, you can always take just a dip of white, put it right on the end of that color tones that you're using, and then you come back right on the top of the hand there. And you're just going to run your brush again. What you're doing is you're just creating a real nice bright highlight on the back of the hand, so that way it shows up. The same thing with the knuckles and all that. You can see me running there you go. You can see me running my edge right there onto the knuckles itself, because I want those to stand out a little bit more. Now I'm going to go back through the hand and the arm, and I'm going to just hit some nice highlight spots. Now this one here, I'm hitting even less than what I did before. You just got to keep that in mind. You're not trying to cover up the previous, because if you're covering up those previous pieces, you're not going to be able to see your work. Now I just add a little bit of water. I'm just kind of smoothing it out just a little bit. But that just shows you right there that you can get a really dramatic like hand muscle structure, and just kind of work off of that. It's the same thing with his chest there. I'll take and add some more. And there's with his chest. So there's just a few spots here and there that would see some sunlight with his chest out like that. But you want to make things kind of exaggerated, because you want people to see them from a distance. When I'm underneath this light, it makes it really easy to see everything. But then when you pull everything away and you're on a tabletop plane, everything kind of gets muted and kind of just washed out just with each other. So keep that in mind. You know, if you're going to do it for display and have really bright lights on it, or, you know, are you going to use it to play and everything else? But that right there is just some of the muscle work right there. I'll probably go through, I'll finish up the rest of the muscle work, and then I'll take and come back, and then we'll get started on maybe the bone or the fur, and I'll do another video on that. So stay tuned for part 3. Again, this is Tim at JL Miniatures. Thank you very much for watching. Please comment, please like the video, and please share. Thank you.